Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa channel. Let's continue. After Hyu's shift ended, she and Bam strolled down the dim street together. Side by side, the night was cool, and neither of them spoke at first. Without facing him, Hyu finally broke the silence. "It's been some time," she murmured. Bam replied evenly. "Yes, it has." Hearing his flat response, she clenched her jaw. "Yes, it has. That's all. So not seeing me for days really meant nothing to him?" She peeked at him from the corner of her eye. "Now that I notice, he looks even sharper." Her chest tightened bitterly. "I couldn't sleep for nights because he wouldn't leave my mind. And here he is, appearing like this." Her gaze traced his perfectly groomed hair and the sleek cut of his suit. Hair styled like a trap and that bold attire. Who dresses like that just to finish work? Then without thinking, she blurted out, "Is there someone you want to impress?" Bam blinked, a hint of surprise. But before he spoke, she added, "I mean, you've been dressing up more than usual." A teasing grin curved his lips. He leaned closer until his chest brushed her back and murmured near her ear, "What's this? Are you uneasy? Hi, Sue. Afraid I might start admiring someone else?" Her hands clenched the strap of her bag. "Who said that?" she fired back. She fell silent, though her mind raced. Maybe it would be easier if he found someone stronger than me, someone who doesn't always depend on him. A woman with a steadier life would fit him better. Wouldn't it make sense if he ended up with someone like that? Maybe then I could finally breathe. But as the silence deepened, Bam's gaze darkened. There was something fierce and consuming behind those calm eyes. Abruptly, he seized her shoulder and pressed her against the wall, not harshly, but deliberately. His face hovered close, his hand restraining both her wrists. Startled, Hyu stared up at him with wide emerald eyes. "You startled me," she whispered softly. "Don't just yank me in like that." He stayed silent. His gaze only grew heavier. Then, wordlessly, he guided her shaking hands to the top button of his shirt, pressing them there until she understood. "I was terrified," he breathed. "Mark me again on the neck." Her breath hitched. The way he tilted his head, exposing the skin like an invitation, made her heartbeat stumble. "No, I was wrong," she thought. "I wouldn't feel peace if he belonged to someone else. I'm terrified everything will crumble. Terrified I'll lose him." Her lips brushed his neck without thinking, her warm breath mingling with the night air. Then she bit down, firmer this time. Shaking, she drew back briefly, only for Bam to smirk and murmur, "Higher this time." Her mouth found his skin again. He slid one hand behind her head, pulling her closer. "Someone might notice us if we keep this up," she whispered, yet kissed him again anyway. To him, she looked dangerously enticing, shamelessly beautiful. Moments later, they stood apart, clothes slightly rumpled, breaths still uneven. Hyu wiped her lips with the back of her hand. Bam chuckled softly, hands buried in his pockets. His neck now bloomed with marks, a map of crimson bruises. He glanced at her with a sly grin. "Now you're not trembling anymore." At the same time, inside the chairman's office, Director Beak stood before him, blocking his way. The chairman's voice cut through the quiet like a blade. "What did you want?" She gave a brittle laugh, glancing aside. "You're the only man who can look at the mother of his child like that," she muttered bitterly. But he stayed silent, expression unreadable, gaze hard as stone. After a pause, she spoke again. "My exhibition's approaching. All those table types will attend. You know them. Crawling for invites to cling to your favor." She forced a small smile, hand pressed to her chest. "I'm not asking you to be there. I still have pride." Then folding her hands together, she added softly, "But with so many eyes, at least let me keep some dignity. Let my son be there." He stood unmoving, hands in his pockets, stare colder than winter. When she realized he wouldn't respond, she pushed on, her voice unsteady. "Should I stand there alone, no husband, no child, showing everyone how shattered this family is?" Her tone sharpened. "I can live as a woman cast aside, but not as a mother torn from her child." Still no reaction, not a twitch. She drew a breath, steadying herself. "I heard you've been training him lately since bringing him into the company. You knew this day would come. It's a public event. The perfect stage to present him. A good chance for him, too." Without a word, the chairman turned toward the door. Just as he reached it, he stopped and said curtly, "Do it then." Just those 3 words. Director Beek's eyes widened in disbelief. As he left, she called sharply after him. Taeju, her voice trembled. Be gentle with him. He isn't like you. He's soft and bruises easily. But the door was already half open, and he was gone. She stood there staring at the empty frame until even his shadow vanished. The next day, Hai-Soo sat with her phone pressed to her ear. On the other end, a man's voice barked. Hey, I'm telling you, women can't handle this job. Even the men struggle to finish the tasks. Hai-Soo replied softly. Still, I'll do my best. But the man interrupted. I said no. Besides, we can't seriously hire someone for just 2 days. It's not possible to adjust the schedule for every part-timer. You get it? She lowered her head and whispered, Yes, I understand. Later, at another place, a man flipped through her resume, barely looking up before speaking. Well, everything seems fine, but we can't accept applicants who only finished high school. I'm sorry. That evening, in her small apartment, Hai-Soo sat on the floor before a low table, writing in her notebook, her thoughts flowing quietly. It isn't as easy as just leaving. Finding a new job is hard. I don't even have enough money to be a corpse yet. Her pen stopped. Life is like a swamp. The more I fight, the deeper it swallows me. Then she shook her head slowly. No, I can't give up now, she muttered. If I keep searching, I'll find something decent. I'll ask the boss if there's another place nearby needing help. Her gaze lingered on the city lights outside. Seoul's huge. There has to be at least one place for the 2 of us to breathe. She sighed, shoulders heavy. But still, I want to leave this place as soon as possible. Is there a quick way to land a short-term job? Later that day, Hai-Soo walked along a crowded street, searching for openings. Then she heard it, a familiar voice slicing through the chatter. I'm telling you, he's a good guy. She froze, her eyes widening. That voice. Across the street, Ari stood, speaking fiercely into her phone. It's not like we are living in the Joseon era, Ari snapped, irritation clear in her tone. Why do we even need to meet first? Just tell me if you'll approve the marriage or not. It sounded like she was fighting with her parents. Then with a sharp sigh, Ari added, I'll hang up if you keep nagging. Seeing her there, laughing and chatting like nothing had ever happened, Hai-Soo froze where she stood. Her pulse quickened, and without thinking, she turned slightly, trying to slip out of sight. Her hand trembled as she tucked a loose strand behind her ear. But then she paused. Wait, why am I the one hiding? Her face hardened. It was King Menchel who betrayed me. I was the one wronged. Then why am I the one shrinking away? Why am I avoiding his new lover like I'm guilty of something? Her thoughts twisted sharply. I pictured this moment countless times. A bold confrontation. Asking her if she's still with him after knowing exactly what kind of man he is. Asking why a young, pretty woman would fall for a divorced man. Or maybe asking if lying beside someone who spent 13 years with another woman ever made her feel shame. But now, standing here face to face, not a single word rose to her lips, because deep down she didn't want Ari to see the weak version of herself. The one trapped in that house full of memories that refused to vanish. And maybe, just maybe, because the woman living happily with King Miel was someone she couldn't fully hate. Then Bam's voice echoed in her mind. Use me if you want. Her chest clenched painfully. Pathetic. Even after denying it so strongly, one glimpse makes me want to hold on to him, to parade him around because he's someone everyone admires. She stood at the crosswalk, staring at the red light. When will it turn? She thought bitterly, I can't even run now. It'll only make it worse. Her heart pounded so hard it almost drowned her thoughts. Please change quickly, she whispered under her breath. And just then, a hand brushed against her from behind. She stiffened, her pulse exploding in her chest. A soft gasp slipped past her lips. Ari turned, their eyes locked. And I don't know what happens next, but things are just starting to get very interesting. So, if you want to see what comes next, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the next part.